Before the springtide came. Chapter 1. Peach Blossom Valley wasn't exactly a valley as such, but the residents thought it sounded more interesting than Peach Blossom Bay. We were very fortunate, in that the valley was nestled neatly between the Black Mountain, which protected us from the harsh winds of winter, and the sea, which kept us cool in severe summers. Before the spring tide came, we thought all was lost, but now there was food aplenty. Sardines blocked drains as they made their way along the gutters, and sometimes found their way into toilets. It wasn't a plausible story at first, but soon people of Peach Blossom Valley were drunk with euphoria, babbling with excitement, and making up stories to get attention. Everyone had a better story than the last one. Sardines floated freely in the gutters along the roadside as children scrambled to gather them up in buckets, unaware of the sting it could cause to an unsuspecting collector. Some of our enterprising neighbors sought fame and fortune by trying to get into television with some of the most bizarre, unverifiable stories. A reality show was created showing an avalanche of sardines heading for the shore, clogging up the estuary, and stranding on the embankment of Valley River. No financial compensation was negotiated, therefore, none was forthcoming. Unfortunately, not all the residents understood this, so many were unhappy about being exploited. Sardines were found everywhere. There were sardines in trees, in caves, in dog bowls, at the car wash, in drains, in the park, on the farms, in stables, in barns, in attics, and every other available conceivable space. We figured that people were trying to hide sardines everywhere they could, but there were still people who were convinced that the sardines made their way out of the enormous shoal by themselves. It was not only the human population that was interested in this multitude of sardines. Along with swarms of seagulls, crows, mice, and an epidemic of cockroaches, came an uncontrollable fly population. Scientists from all corners of the world were intrigued, unsure of what would cause such an influx of unwanted guests. Everyone had a field day. Once a picturesque Sleepy Hollow and haven for artists, poets and writers, now became a valley of filth, a garbage dump and breeding ground for disease. Doctors came in droves hoping to make a quick buck, but they were desperately disappointed to discover that the Valleyites suffered nothing more than depression. They talked of a delayed reaction 3 years hence, but no one was interested. In the meantime, we did our best to handle what we could. The Valleyites bragged of no longer needing money for food. Curious out-of-towners came to gawk at us as if we were responsible for creating the deluge of fish. They didn't have to drive far to attract any attention, and we knew exactly why they had come. If they parked on a street corner, someone was likely to run over, offering to sell them sardines or, alternately, a warm fish dish. Everyone had a new recipe, but by far the most popular was pickled sardines. City dwellers had no clue about pickling sardines, and they were only too happy to drive to Peach Blossom Valley to savor our famous cuisine. Greedy Gretchen's was doing a roaring trade in sardines and chips, rissoles and paella. Yes, there was plenty and more. What happened to the beggar who used to sleep in the park? One youngster was overheard asking his friend.